Hello. How are you?
Not too bad.
Oh, thank you very much.
Come bearing gifts.
Thank you. You look gorgeous.
Oh god, I'm literally.
It's crazy. This is like the first time we've
I know
met.
we've actually met. I know. Here,
Yeah,
give me a hug.
stopped in here.
Oh, you look beautiful. Your hair's gorgeous.
Really? Is it? No, I've had really bad like is that your kid?
Yeah.
Oh god.
They're in the back playing in the garden.
Oh, did they know you're away?
Oh yeah.
Is that why they're crying?
No, they're screaming. They're
Oh,
playing.
I'm sorry.
They're happy enough there with Daddy.
Oh, very good.
Daddy's the fun one. Mummy's always the one cleaning and cooking and everything else.
No, I've had like postpartum hair
Hair loss?
really bad around the front, and I don't know how to style my hair anymore.
Oh, literally, that's where all the easy bits are.
Yeah, like the wee sticky out parts.
And then I'm not good at hair, like, you know, nails, makeup, I'm not too bad, but see when it comes to her.
To her? No.
Like shocking. I curl it with a sock. Still.
Oh yes, I see it. Which one?
I actually, wherever you want to go, where do you want to go?
I don't know, like just somewhere to park, and then we can just talk.
Crumley maybe?
Because I'm not good at like
multitasking.
Really not.
No, yeah, my mummy, I went round to my mummy's last night to make the kids Easter egg baskets and stuff. Went in and I found straighteners, and I was looking at GHD straighteners, you know, trying to like curl my hair.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to do this morning.
Serious?
Oh, you should see the state of it. Like bits of it straight, the ends curled, so I was like, you know what,
dyed
let's
your
get
hair
flat
too,
back.
though, didn't
Yeah.
you? Brian, it's lovely.
Whenever I was blonde, it was literally like straw. And I went to that many different hairdressers that it just like kind of got destroyed. I was like, do you know what? It's time to go brown.
Yeah.
But your hair's beautiful. Your hair actually looks healthy though.
Yeah. I'm trying to grow it out. It's more like a reddy colour, so I'm trying to get the red back because my wee one's red.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to be red like her.
It's so hard. I actually think, see, like go left here. Red hair, especially in girls, is absolutely beautiful.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
There's
I don't know why I ever changed it.
Do you know there's a thing down south that all the redheads go together? It's like a redhead festival.
No way.
I swear to God,
No
yeah,
way.
I swear.
Do you have to be really red, or can you just be a wee bit red?
I don't know, and I suppose obviously people have red-headed kids, so that haven't got ginger hair, so it's like, no, there's actually like a festival for it.
Wow.
I would be going. Make sure your coffee doesn't smell.
Oh shit, I know. Oops.
Are we allowed to swear? This is such a good idea though. Like, it's so good, yeah.
Saying that. I know, and it's funny because like I'm usually very like private. Like I'd be really funny with like sharing things, but I don't know what happened. I just like.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm a chronic oversharer.
Are you?
Like anything you want to know about my life, just tell me. I'm just like, or I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't know why actually. There's probably some deep-rooted childhood trauma kind of thing to it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go onto TikTok and you're like, oh, I have ADHD, childhood trauma. Oh, do you know what I mean? Everything.
TikTok is. I never had TikTok until like a month ago, and I'm obsessed. And I don't realise the amount of time you spend on it, especially before I go to bed. I'm really bad this way. I'll like sit and scroll, and then the next thing it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah. You
like
get into a TikTok hole.
Yeah.
It's so bad, like. It's good and it's bad because you do genuinely learn some good things.
You do, yeah.
But it's bad because I now want to like live off the land and like.
You kind of do.
But you know what? We're actually going to grow some stuff this year.
Oh, amazing.
And then hopefully next year get a greenhouse. But they're a fortune. So I've seen wee DIY ones on TikTok that we'll try and make. But like, see some of the greenhouses are stunning, but they are like. One of them I loved. It was like this old fashioned Victorian thing. I was like, oh, that'll not be too bad. 22 grand.
Oh.
I was like, you can keep your greenhouse. I'll go to Lidl's.
Oh wow.
Isn't that mad?
That's crazy. I think we actually looked into getting like a wee greenhouse, and it was so expensive. And I thought, this is mad. Like,
and then
buy a new house.
Apparently the windows and all smash on them.
Really?
And yeah, so I've seen ones that are like made of wood with PVC, like a clear. Is it PVC? Do you know what I mean? Like that plasticky clear stuff over the top of it, so obviously it's not going to smash. I mean, it probably will look like a shambles, but at least we'll be eating our own food.
Yeah, exactly, I know.
And the kids are actually interested. They want to grow stuff this year.
Do they?
Yeah. So.
And your wee ones are the same age as mine, then?
I think they are.
Like very close.
How old are yours?
I think yours are closer together in age.
17 months mine's are apart.
Yeah, that's right.
And how far is yours apart?
Just over 2 years. 2 years and 2 months, I think it is.
And you were the same as me, weren't you? Hospital birth first time, then home birth the second time.
I know, isn't that weird? That's so
mad.
Weird.
Did you try for it? Yeah. Did you try for home birth the first time?
No.
No.
And I wish I had have, but
Sure, I tried for it. It didn't happen.
Did you?
So yeah.
Really?
I was all set up and ready to go.
I know, because I want to talk about this, like your
Yeah.
home births and everything, or your births in general.
I think that's kind of what originally got us kind of connected, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Was through the
Yeah.
home birth and that kind of. And then the
Yeah.
more we were on each other's Instagram, like, oh, actually, we have more in common here than what we thought.
Literally.
I would do the home birth all over again, like, but
Would
it's
you?
just rearing them. It's the hard bit.
It is. It definitely is.
I don't think anything mentally prepares you for it.
No.
Like
no.
nothing.
No, oh my God. That's what I was like. Whenever I was driving over, I was thinking, because I remember, like, I know of you from like years and years ago as well, because
Yeah.
like Michelle would have known you,
Yeah.
my cousin.
Yeah.
I don't know, and obviously you done the singing as well and the voice and stuff, didn't you?
Miss Ireland, Scundered.
Yes. Don't worry, I was like kind of in that order too.
What, yeah?
Like
Oh, that's
Britain's
right,
Got
actually,
Talent
yes,
and all these
remember?
things. Yeah.
Remember your video?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Quite
And you're
lovely.
dancing and all.
But
It was a good song, in fairness.
yeah.
I think so,
Jesus.
yeah. Lyrics were good. Especially now, a bit more relatable.
I know, yeah, true. But like, yeah, so like, I'm going to ask you a question. Like, who was the Rachel before kids? You know, like, who were you before kids? 'Cause no way there's,
Truthfully, the Rachel before kids was a very insecure, constantly wanted to impress people and family. It's actually mad how much having kids has changed me. Do you know, I think if I had a wee bit of the carefree attitude I have now in terms of not really caring too much what people think, I could have possibly went somewhere with my singing, who knows? Going right here. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved singing and everything else, but
yeah.
I just wasn't, I was too nervous and too
I
shy,
see.
and you're grand that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Too nervous and too shy to ever get
Really?
anywhere with it. Oh my god, yes. See the nerves I would have had before I went on the stage. Like, see the Voice of Ireland. I had laryngitis and fluid in my voice box, and we ended up having to go private. My doctors kept telling us it was asthma and all, and I'll never forget going down there literally like vomiting beforehand. I couldn't even speak. Couldn't speak for 2 days. Tried to tell them could they take it down a key and everything. They wouldn't do it. I was like a strangled cat. I don't know how I got through, like, but see the nerves. I literally like nothing. Honestly, see the stress, the anxiety.
I didn't even
lived it
think
straight
that.
on.
You know, it's amazing how
You're going straight.
Oh, am I going straight?
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Sauce.
It's amazing how, you know, people from the outside wouldn't really think
See
that
it,
of you.
yeah.
It's crazy that you're feeling that
Yeah.
yourself.
But like now, it's just. I mean, I wouldn't say I have the voice that I had back then. Do you know, you don't.
Right, 'cause
I
you
didn't
train it and
practice
stuff,
it. And, yeah. Now all the singing I do is to the kids, and if I do end up going out in a karaoke. But yeah, it's mad. Like, I've healed. I'd say that's what I've healed. Some I've had kids, mainly in the last 2 years, I'd say.
Right.
The first year having Killian was really hard. Like, oh my god, I don't think anything prepares you. Like, both of my kids had colic and silent reflux, and you know they weren't sleeping, and we didn't have help. You know, growing up, I always thought my family would have been more help than what they are. But now, as it's came along, Mummy's not able. Do you know what I mean? She's not able to help as much as she would want to. And
Am I going right way?
right, yeah,
Right.
you're going right
Oh
here.
yes, come on, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then go right at that wee sign just into the glen, and then we can park in there.
Oh, in here?
Yeah. No, on that next one. To be fair, easy mistake to be made, especially when you're trying to talk to in there.
Oh shit.
Got it.
There we go. Oh, it is.
I've lost where we are now.
Oh yes, about help and
Oh yeah. Obviously, and then Lee's from England, so his family don't live here.
yeah.
So it was just a case of getting to rock bottom and then trying to climb out and
Really?
yeah, trying to kind of discover myself. You know, you lose all your friends. And it's not necessarily they're, you know, doing anything wrong or you're doing anything wrong. Your lives are just going in different paths.
Yeah.
But
That's a big one.
trying to be mature and realise that and not kind of see yourself as a victim going, oh, I'm getting left behind. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's the difference. And that's the whole point of these stories. Like, we're talking, I don't want it to be like, oh, my sad story, you know? Because we have been through hard stuff.
Yeah,
but then it's like the strength that you get from it. Do you know what I mean? Sorry that this is stinking. I was meant to frigging clean it yesterday. So
I have 2 kids. I get it. You should see my car. See if it wasn't for Lee, I don't know what way my car would be.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's weird. It's changed me, but I'm actually so more grateful for it. Like, little things, like even walking around this glen. Before I had kids, I'd be like, oh, it's a dump. There's nothing there. And then whenever you look around and you've got the kids and you see the things that they're loving and they think so magical, it kind of makes you appreciate it and go, do you know what? That is actually beautiful. It is class. But
And the way you were saying about healing,
yeah.
what, obviously, talk about what you want, but what really were you healing from? Was there a lot of, like, maybe stuff from your childhood, was it, or just...
You know what? I don't even think, like, because in terms of childhood, I had a good childhood.
Yeah.
It's just, I think how our family were brought up to raise their children is completely different. It was like kids should be seen and not heard, and sit and be quiet, and you know, don't let anybody know your business, don't let anybody see your weaknesses. Whereas now I'm like, to my children, I'm like, no, it's okay if you're not okay. You know, it's okay to be upset or emotional, or anger's okay too, or do you know what I mean? You were never allowed to kind of express your emotions. You just had to keep it all in, didn't you?
Yeah. Wow. Actually, when you're saying that, I was brought up like that too. Like, you don't really speak about those things. Like, that's private.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know?
And then like even in terms of my birth and stuff, my mum was like, oh, Rachel, what are you doing sharing all this on the internet? And I'm like, because other people can see it. And she's like, oh, it's just so private. And I get that too. And extent, especially for her, like, do you know, even the generation before her, my mummy got rid of some generational trauma by not beating us. But before that, she was beaten. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's worse and worse for them. It's actually them you feel more sorry for. At least now we have the resources to kind of be like, right, that wasn't right, but this is how we fix it. And it wasn't your parents raising you wrong, it was them doing their best and how they thought it was right. But let's now kind of alter that a wee bit for our children.
Exactly. And we are the ones stopping it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've noticed this with, like, all the mummies I'm talking to.
It's our generation.
It's us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Obviously, we're not perfect. Like, I still...
Oh God, and there's still going to be things that we do that our kids affect our kids and give them a wee bit of childhood trauma. Like, it'll never be intentional. Do you know what I mean? But all any mummy can do is their best.
Exactly.
That's why I hate, like, before I had kids, I'd have been like, oh, look at them kids sit there on their iPad, that's a joke. And do you know, whereas now I'm out for dinner and our kids are dead on, the colour in, but every child's different, and you're looking and you're like, well, actually that mummy, that could be the only bit of peace she's had all day.
Exactly.
Do you know, so if she wants to put her child on an iPad for an hour so she can eat her dinner, then so be it. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
You just change.
You really do.
Nothing prepares you
No.
for change. Like, people that I absolutely and still love and adore, and that I've been friends with for years, still love them, but I'm just different now, so I don't think they can, I can't relate to them because they're still out, you know, every weekend and living their best life, and then I'm just but I'm genuinely happy. Like, yesterday I was sat in the garden, our kids were digging stones, we were just in our pajamas till like 11 o'clock on the day, like scruffs, but I'd prefer that to being hanging and going out and drinking any day.
Exactly. It's a massive change, like the maiden to mother transition. I remember seeing somewhere actually on, I think it was Instagram, and it was like, whenever you're giving birth and you hit that wall where you feel like you can't go on,
the transition stage.
The transition, that's when the maiden dies and the mother's born. Isn't that amazing?
Oh my God, that's actually deep. I love that, because
it is so true. Because then the mother,
when you actually relate it to your birth, you're like, oh my God,
like, she dies and then the mother's born, and that's why you get over it, because the mother steps in and is like,
that's so true.
Isn't that powerful?
I remember before I had Killian, I was literally to the midwife while I was in labour. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And especially because it was a wee boy, I was convinced, and I did want a wee girl to start off with, because I know it sounds really, like, awful, but like wiping their wee parts, and you know, it's what you know. I'm like, how do you wipe a wee boy's winky? And the midwife was like, I promise you, like, it'll just come naturally to you as soon as they're born. And right enough, like, it did. It's just you learn. Although I'll never forget, Killian was, Lee was sent home obviously because you're in the hospital, and he done a wee went all in his eyes, and I'm hitting the button trying to clean her, like the tar put. I'm like, oh, he's gonna go blind. She's like, it's fine.
Oh wow. No, it's a massive transition from, like, who you were before.
Did you struggle with it the first, or did you struggle more with your first or your second, in terms of, like, mentally?
First. Definitely first, because I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Like, I thought I knew. I was like, no, I've healed. Like, I done all this healing work when I was pregnant, doing all the reading, the books, and I was like, no, I think I got this now. No. As soon as he was born, he was a real, like, as soon as he came out, he just cried, and I mean, even in the hospital, he just cried, and I was like, and then Johnny was away home, obviously. It was like 12
Isn't that
o'clock
traumatic in itself too? Like, that's the person you want to do everything with, and then you're just left. And imagine how back in the day the men weren't even allowed in whenever they were giving birth.
I don't know how they done it. Like, you need that. Oh yeah, don't you?
Absolutely.
And Nathan just cried, and I remember walking out, like, holding him and pressing the buzzer, and no one was coming, and I was like, I don't know what to do here, like, maybe something wrong with my baby. And then I went out into the hall, like, looking for a nurse, going, can someone help my baby, because he just won't stop crying. But I don't. It was just a really unsettled baby, and I was like, "What is going on?" And I think that's like your first, like glimpse of motherhood was just crying, and it was just hard. It was really hard.
Oh, absolutely. I remember rocking on a rocking chair and literally holding Killian in my arms, and because he had the colic, nothing could settle him. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. We didn't really have a lot of money when Killian was born, but we spent hundreds upon hundreds on natural colic remedies, everything, like anything you could think of to try and help him. And changed his formula about 20 times, God bless him. And I literally was just rocking him in a rocking chair crying, and I said to Lee, you need to take him. I can't listen to it anymore. It's and I think nothing's more heartbreaking than everyone says a mother can soothe their child and a mother knows what to do, and you're sitting there going, well, I'm his mummy and I can't help him, like he's crippled here in pain. You just had to wait until it grew out of it. Did yours have colic or reflux or anything? I
don't know if it was colic, but both of them definitely had something for like a good month. It was just, I don't know if it was the witching hour though, because it was like from 9 till 12, like crying.
Well, that's what they say. They say the witching hour is a wee bit of colic. And that they just used to call it the witching hour back in the day because they didn't know what it was.
Oh, right.
So they say.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Ah. No, it is. It's definitely, and it does change you for the better.
Oh God, doesn't it? I'm definitely a lot more, like as in, with the healing, I've healed my inner child, so I don't possibly to a fault, because now with people around me, I'm kind of like, well, people come to me for advice, but I'm also pointing them out where they could be wrong and the other person's point of view, and a wee bit, people are probably like, why isn't she taking my side? Like a wise soul. Yeah, absolutely. I went to a medium, and she's like, you've been here. Every medium I've ever been to, fortune tellers, like, you have been here so many times before. You're such an old soul. And Lee's such a child, God bless him. He's growing up now, like I forced him. Kids forced him. I remember before we had kids, he was like, because obviously he became the stay-at-home daddy, and it was like, I'll just be able to sit and play my PlayStation once the bottles and the child and all the rest of it. He didn't play his PlayStation from the child was born. I bought him a new one at this Christmas. Right. And even then, yesterday we were sorting out like an office upstairs, and he packed it away. He's like, sure, I don't get time to play it. I think I've got to love him. You don't? And he doesn't, like.
No. And like, I'd say about 5 years, 10 years, that's probably when you get a wee bit of more.
Yeah.
But, we'll get into that actually, because I'm jumping things.
Have you loads of wee questions?
Oh, yeah.
That's so handy too, how that sits there.
Isn't it?
Like,
Isn't it so crazy?
I genuinely thought it was a tripod. It's meant to be.
I just stuck it there, and I was like, wow. And it's funny because we got this car like after Christmas.
Yeah.
And I had to get a new phone as well because it just broke.
I'm sorry, can I? No, I'm just. I decided a cardigan and all black would be a great idea.
It gets really
Oh, fancy! Look at Jerry Kira.
Oh no, no.
Don't some even have a CD player. We jam about with the Bose speaker in the cup holder.
Oh, this is all new to me. There we go.
Love it. Just right. Oh, that's nice.
I don't even know it. Like, I'm like, is that on? Is that off? Like, I'm learning as I go. Sure,
it's grand. Your phone must have some memory too, though.
I know.
To keep all the videos.
I know. Well, I delete them and upload them on YouTube, because if I didn't, I would have no memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to speak about your births. Because that's a big one. I'm so interested, as you know.
Oh, I love all that.
And you're so interested too.
I'm here to give it all.
Yeah. So like, talk about your first, obviously, because that was like a completely different experience compared to your second, wasn't it? It was, were you induced as well?
Yes, so with Killian, I was all set up for my home birth, and my waters broke in the bath. But I had, I think I had about 4 sweeps with Killian, because I was so terrified of not going to. It's nice, isn't it?
So sorry, this was
no, it's the hotel chocolate or chocolate or whatever you say it, machine, the velvetizer. You just put it in with instant coffee. But yeah, no, so my waters broke, but nothing happened within 24 hours. It was too slow. So I went in and they put the drip up then. Well, they actually gave me 72 hours to see if I would kind of go myself. But I knew as soon as I went into hospital, nothing was going to happen, because I have like real anxiety with hospitals.
Me too.
Oh my god, I hate them. So ended up getting the drip up, and I think within half an hour I was like, this is crippling, give me gas and air. And then after that I was like, you might get your man out of surgery, because I've seen 16 and pregnant, I know they can be in surgery, let them know that I'm next for the epidural. And my bloods, had an infection in my bloods anyway, so I couldn't get an epidural. And that went on, and I remember literally saying, I was like, I feel like I need to push. and the midwife's like, no, you couldn't need to push. They went and got the consultant, and the consultant came in and was like, when was the last time Rachel went to the toilet? And I was like, I've had my drip up from 6:30, and at this stage it was 3 p.m. It's like, I haven't been to the bathroom. And the consultant literally shouted at the midwives, like proper. He was like, all she needed was a drip on for a short while, and you could have took her off it. Her body started doing it itself. Like, I was having, I think, 3 contractions or 4 contractions in every 10 minutes, and you're only supposed to have like so many at this stage. So they had to put a catheter in and drain the urine. Apparently it normally only takes like a bag or half bag. Mine took 2 full bags to drain, and then after that, like, he was able to move down, and he was like, yeah, right, okay, you're ready to push. So it was that kind of blocking it the whole time.
Wow.
She wouldn't let me stand. It was just so far from what I wanted, because I obviously wanted a water birth. And when it came to pushing, she had me in all these different angles in the bed, and she walked out, and I looked at Lee. I was like, get me off this bed right now, I'm standing up. And he's like, but the midwife said you can't. I was like, I don't care, I know my body. And I stood up, and right enough, I obviously gave birth then, standing up, pushed him out.
Oh wow, standing up.
Yeah,
wow.
I know, my legs were like Bambi after. So like, as soon as he came out, I fell back on the chair, like she had a chair behind me. And you should have seen the place. It looked like something out of a scary movie. It was shocking. I feel so sorry for whoever I didn't clean after. But yeah, I gave birth standing up, and the midwife turned around and said to me, oh, you know your own body, you knew you needed to stand. And I was like, if you'd let me 45 minutes ago. So an hour and 45 minutes I was pushing. And then the cord was too short, so I couldn't have the skin on skin with him. I couldn't like lift him or anything, so they cut his cord straight away. Yeah, so like as I was on the chair.
I had a short cord too.
Yeah. So they cut the cord, and I didn't get to hold him or anything for about an hour and a half. And the consultant came in and looked at me, and I was just looking at Lee, and it was awful. It was like, kind of childish of me in a sense, but I remember looking at Lee, and he was just so devoted with Killian and didn't really check in on me at all. Then after that, I just felt like, oh my god, I've just done all this, give you a baby, and now I don't matter. And isn't that so bad?
No, it's
I mean,
so
like,
real.
I hadn't slept in 3 days, and the consultant looked at me and was like, give that girl her baby now and give her skin on skin. She needs like, the consultant was actually amazing, and you know, the midwives were nice and stuff, but I think they just made a few wee rookie mistakes. Could have been a bad day for them, but the consultant knew. And he's a man, do you know what I mean? He's never gave birth, but he was able to look at me and be like, she needs to hold her baby. Because I remember when he came out, I just looked, and he was a double Ellie's daddy, and I was like, oh my god, like, I've done all this. He doesn't look anything like me. But yeah, and then stitches and all that delightful thing. And it was a shared bathroom as well. I remember walking in, I don't know if like it's probably too much information, but here I am, chronic overshare, waddling into the bathroom after, and in Antrim it's like a shared bathroom, so there was another birthing suite, and I was standing there looking down going like, why am I even showering? Like, the blood, it was just shocking. And anybody that's had like a messy birth, they'll get it. Water birth was different for me, like, but in comes a girl, happy as Larry, looks like she's just about to be induced or something, with her wee hospital bag, and I'm standing there completely starkers, blood everywhere. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I literally just looked at her as if to go like, good luck. Good luck for you. And then so that was Killian's birth.
Right. And how long were you in birth for? How many hours was it, did you say?
I was in slow labour, so whenever my waters broke, I was contracting, but it was I think it was like every 7 minutes, and it didn't progress for like 72 hours. So I hadn't slept, by the time I gave birth to Killian, I hadn't slept in about 3.5 days. And I remember actually whenever we got home the next day, Lee was all like, right, we'll go to bed and stuff. Everybody came around, went upstairs, got ready to go to bed, and he brought like the wee next to me crib up and everything for Killian, and I lied down and I literally fell asleep in seconds. I woke up a whole, like, I think it was like 13 hours later, and he was downstairs. As soon as I fell asleep, he brought Killian and everything downstairs so that I could get a full night's sleep. And like, got home, I came downstairs and he was sleeping on the sofa. Killian was in his wee like swingy mamaroo thing or whatever it was called, and there was like nappies on the floor. Lee had one arm off the sofa, like where he'd, you know, obviously been pushing, and even him, he's like, Rich, I had no clue what I was doing. But
did you feel like disempowered then with that birth? Like, did you feel like, because you had planned a home birth and then obviously it didn't go that way, did you have any sort of, you know, some women would feel like
yeah, to an extent,
a bit of, I don't know, like grief that you didn't get the birth that you wanted, and it kind of like plays on your mind afterwards a wee bit?
I think to an extent. And then, although in a sense it helped me because I wasn't able to get the epidural, I think that helped, because if I had have got the epidural, recovery would have been different and stuff like that. So I'm kind of glad. And also because I was able to go through getting induced and everything with the gas snare, I was like, I can do it at home. If I can get the induction, and it's like everyone says it's a million times worse than birth, which it is compared to my home birth. It was horrific. I was like, right, I can do it at home, no bother now.
Yeah.
Do you know, I knew I could.
Yeah. It's so different in induction because you don't get any breaks. Like, it's just this weird
constant,
pain, isn't it? Constant.
Yeah. Nothing prepares you for it. Like, you can't do hypnobirthing, you can't breathe, you can't do as soon as I got induced, that was out the window, like. Yeah. And I mean, even when I was doing home birth, in terms of the hypnobirthing, I wasn't like constant with it. You know the way some people can literally like you read all these things when you're looking into hypnobirth, and it's like these women having orgasms when they're giving birth. That was not the case for me. It was not the case, but it was definitely a lot nicer than my hospital birth. Like, was your hospital birth traumatic?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like 2 days of labour, and they put the pessary twice, but it like reacted with me. I was like on fire inside. Like, I think that was worse than the actual labour.
Serious?
The pain I felt. You know, they have to go in all the time and see every time she was going in. I mean, I felt like my body was floating out of my, or no, my soul was floating out of my body because the pain. I was just like, oh my, like this is just not right, and I knew something was not right. And exactly the same thing. I was holding my pee inside. Yeah. And they had to get. It was like, I don't know, that night, I went in that day at 8, and it was only at like 8 that night that they realised I hadn't peed. And I realised I hadn't peed. And so they had to go in, put the catheter in, and 2 bags as well. Yeah. Kept coming out. And the relief I felt afterwards.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's like, oh.
And even your back as well. It's like, obviously, I don't know, it must be the way the baby lies or something, but your bladder must push on your back. Yeah, it was definitely, like for Johnny as well. Yeah. I think he was. Would he recommend people to have a home birth now based on his?
He wasn't there.
That's right.
I know.
Why was he not there? Is that a kind of religion thing, or?
No religion thing.
I know, because isn't he from Turkey?
No. Everyone thinks that. I know. No, he's from here.
Actually?
Yeah, his daddy's from Pakistan.
Right,
so his daddy moved over here when he was really young, and then his mum passed a few years ago. She's from here, so he was born and raised here. Like, he talks, you know, with a Northern Ireland accent, you know what I mean? So
I genuinely, like, I had it in my head that, like, he was from Turkey.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Everyone seems to think of that.
And partners from Turkey.
Oh yeah.
Yes, right, okay. And I wasn't too far out there.
I
know. Right, okay, that makes sense. And so did he just not want to be? Did he not want to be there?
No, so it was obviously 2020 with COVID and everything. Yeah. And that was one of the big reasons why I wanted a home birth, because it was just scary what was going on in the hospital. So I was like, no, we're doing it at home. And then I don't know what it was, but we're so protective of Nathan. Yeah. And I was like, if I'm in labour for like days, like I don't want him he's so used to being around us. I don't think he'll go to anyone easily. Yeah. So
which is fair enough, I
was like, please, you know, would you be happy enough to stay with Nathan and look after Nathan, you know, and give him everything he needs? And he was like, yeah, because that, as well as like the birth, was traumatic. He was like, I'm happy to do that. Like, I'll come down straight after. Yeah. But then in retrospect, I was talking to Lindsay about this, like looking back, like we do have regrets that he wasn't there. Yeah. But at the time, because of COVID, and then with wee Nathan only being like 2, I was like, he's not going to do well with staying with someone. Yeah, because you were in your mum's house as well, so then that would have been a change of scenery for him and everything else. So you do have to think of your kids, like, don't you? Yeah. So we were thinking of Nathan, and then I was like, I can do this on my own. Do you know? At least you have it all on video though. I know. Is your video of your birth on YouTube? No. But I should. I think you should share that one on YouTube. Lindsay was like, send me it and I'll put it up. But yeah, I know I should. I definitely should. But you can't see. It's so funny. We recorded right up to when she came out. Yeah. And then we stopped recording because the midwife was like, Anne was recording, I think, or Lindsay was recording. It was Anne. Yeah. And the midwife was lifting me over to like, so cause she was about to come out. Yeah. And then she was like, you get that bone down right now. Actually, she caught it on camera, you know, the midwife, but she was so lovely. But I think she was just worried because it was happening really quick. Like, I was getting flung in the water like a big whale. Like, I was like, whoa. And then next thing, like, she was out.
Serious?
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't capture it on camera that moment she came out, but then we got everything after.
Else, yeah.
So it was like the one thing we didn't get was when she came out.
Whenever mines come out, like, it's strange. So in my like video, when the waters came out, because that was actually horrific. Did your waters break naturally with your with Nathan?
No, they had to
pop them. So when I was giving birth, well, obviously my waters broke with Killian, but when I was giving birth with Emily, I was pushing for dear life, and I genuinely thought it was the head. And I was like, what was that? And they were like, it was just your waters. I was like, oh, fuck. It was my water, but it was like bulging. It didn't break until like she was coming out. That was a wee bit rough. But it's
I felt
mad.
it too. It was like a pop.
Oh,
I mean, it was like a champagne bottle.
Literally.
In the water.
And I remember, you know, I don't know if you like, when you have the gas in there, your voice is off, and I was like, what was that? I always
thought you were finished.
Yeah, honest to God, I thought, right, that's me getting the body out, and that's me done.
Oh God. So yeah, talk about your birth with the difference then.
That was unbelievable, to be fair. So I was 40 weeks on the button and went round to the midwife appointment, and I remember going, right, I have to book you in for an induction. It doesn't mean you're going to get induced, but I was like, look, you needn't bother, because I have my gas in her and everything delivered. I'm going to do this on my own. And she looked at me and she laughed, and I was like, I'm not joking, I'm not going in to get induced. I'll go over and I will give birth on my own in my house. And she was like, will you have my number as a friend? You call me for a coffee, Rachel, please. And I was like, that's grand, that's sweet. But then when she checked me, she was like, Rachel, you're already in labour, which I kind of thought it was anyway. She was like, you're 4 to 5 centimetres, you're like, waters are bulging and everything else. I was like, sweet. So half an hour later, after her examining me and giving me like a wee bit of a sweep, my contraction started. And you know, when you try not to get your hopes up, so it's like, I'm just leaving it. A couple of hours passed, and I rang the midwife on call, and she was like, it's fine, it's probably just after sweep, don't be worrying. And the midwife that works in the because she was one of my clients too, so that's how I kind of know her as a friend. She messaged me, she's like, how you getting on? I was like, yeah, good, I'm still kind of having these Braxton Hicks things. I think I could be in labour. And she rang the other midwife and was like, this was Rachel's like chart or whatever, she's definitely in labour, like she can stick pain, she's just not gonna, you know, say anything. And the midwife rang me about 3 times, like, no, I don't need you out. And then the 3rd time she rang, she was like, I couldn't speak to her then, so she came out. But Killian went to bed at 7 o'clock in the house, and Lee came out and he was like, do you need me to give him a minute? I was like, no, I need you to fill the pool now. And he was like, really? I was like, Lee, don't get excited, because we can't, because when you get too excited it can all stop. I was like, but yes, fill the pool. And I rang my mummy and that, and they all came round. And when the midwife come, she kind of came in and she was like, right, the dog can't be here. And I looked at her, and I'm always great, but chronic people pleaser. So I'd have been like, okay, that's fine, don't worry. I literally was like in full blown labour, and I was like, you go read my birth plan and then come back into me. And everyone just kind of stopped and was like, Rachel? And she came in, she's like, right, that's okay, the dog can be here, because you're the way they say to smell things, that helps, you know, so people smell lavender and stuff like that. This is really random, but Clover, my dog, she was my smell. So
they smell like popcorn.
Yeah, like, it's just
well, for me anyway.
Yeah, like they actually do call them popcorn paws, because that's what they say. Yeah. So she checked me then, and I said to her I didn't want to know how far along it was, that this would be my own examination. So she checked me, and she was like, that's okay. And she walked outside, and I heard her on the phone to the other midwife say, it's not going to be long, come on round. And I was like, yes. And then after that, it all kind of progressed quite nicely. I think she was only out for an hour and a half. I went like as long as I could without getting them out. Because it was 17 months between Killian and Emily, I tore the same place that I did, which was basically not geographic, around where you put the catheter in. Oh, right. So after I gave birth, which was unbelievable, like, I actually just cried. I couldn't believe it happened. You get out of me that whole birth. Oh my God, I done it. This big horrible Kim Kardashian crying face. After that, I gave birth naturally then to the placenta. I didn't get the injection or nothing, and that came away nicely. And it was time then obviously to get out. So I think Emily was still attached to the cord and everything for maybe like an hour nearly. Right. So cut that, and Lee and my sister, and that went out to the kitchen to like wear and everything else. And then the other midwife, she checked me and she was like, right, you can go to the hospital and get more pain relief for this kind of stitching.
Right.
But then she was like, I can't remember if it was Zimbabwe or Africa or what it was. She's like, but I've been a midwife in Africa and I've done these kind of things in a clay hut. I guarantee I can get it done and it'll be the best stitches ever. I was like, let's go for it. So I literally was lying on my sunroom floor. She needed a really bright light, so I got my makeup mirror and like put it there. She's like, this is brilliant. And my sister obviously worked in A&E at the time, and she was horrified, like the thread going in and coming up. That was worse than every bit of labour, because like where it is, apparently something to do with the injections, it doesn't numb that area. And I didn't tear like normal people, you know, like down at the bottom. Mine was at the top. So that was probably the worst part of my home birth, was getting stitched up. But see, after that, being able to get into my own shower, while my sister, she apparently knows how to make hospital toast, and you just need to put the toaster on a couple of times before you toast it, top time. So she made me my toast for getting out of the shower, and Emily was in her nice wee clothes, and it was just, you couldn't have asked for anything better. Like everyone you wanted was there, you know.
Yeah. Because I watched it, you obviously shared it, and it was just, because I was like giving birth, I don't know, maybe about 9 months or something after, I don't know.
Was
actually
it that long?
9 months, you were pregnant for 9 months.
I was going to say, it wasn't that long, it was only a couple of months, wasn't it?
I think so. Because
I remember you messaging me going, Rachel, you know, how's it happening with lockdown and everything else?
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, no, I anybody I speak to, not even first time mummies, I'm like, try for a home birth. Just always try. If you don't get it, just be open-minded. But nothing's better than doing it in your own house. You don't. Do you know what I mean?
Did you have any fears with home births?
None.
Like none. Yeah.
None. So everything, obviously, they bring everything out to, God forbid, resuscitate and keep the baby kind of going if anything bad happened. But there's, as soon as you go into labour, I don't know if they told you this, but as soon as you go into labour, there's an ambulance put on standby for you. So that ambulance cannot leave for any other emergency until you've give birth. Well, this is what the midwife told me. Whether she was filling me with loads of false confidence, I don't know, but it worked. But you did hear on the phones to the hospital quite a bit through the birth. I'm only 10 minutes from the hospital. I think if I'd have been much more than that, I might have kind of freaked out a bit. But no, I kind of knew, I just knew my body could do it. You know, I knew in my heart, everything just... it couldn't have been any more perfect, to be honest. I remember saying, we're like, right, I'm going to manifest a 5-hour birth and all. I'm going to manifest, and right enough, it was 5 hours to the dot. 5 hours exactly. Start from my first contraction day I gave birth, it was 5 hours. Unbelievable. I could breathe and rock through everything. Now, don't get me wrong, the noises that I was making, I don't know how my child stayed asleep. Like, my mummy's like, she's going to wake Kelly, and he stayed asleep the whole time. No way. He just woke up the next morning and was like, here's your sister. Wow. But yeah, because all the like birthing books you read, it's like stay deep. So when every time I went, hey, I was going, you know, trying to like counteract. I'm like, I can't do it.
No, it is. It's mad trying to keep your breath. Yeah. Isn't it?
And I knew when I was going into transition, I was more aware of it. I was like, Lee, I'm going into transition. I need you to read my affirmations to me now. And like, he was a brilliant birthing partner. I know there's been people, like girls that I've spoke to locally, and their partners were like, oh my God, imagine sitting doing that and all. Like, but I'm like, well, no, that's actually called being a man and being a birthing partner and helping your partner go through something that's not easy, that you'll never have to experience. So lucky you, you know.
No, even in the video, he was so great. The way he was rubbing your back and all. Like,
the first couple of like wee lines that he read, and it was like, because obviously it's like, my body can do anything and all this keeper. He's, you know, tittered and laughed a bit, and then once he actually discovered, no, this is helping her, he just kept going.
I got Johnny to do that with Nathan.
Yeah, it does help.
I was like, I don't know, I was just so in pain at that point. I was like, no, I don't need them anymore. I can't love them.
What was your home birth like?
Okay, it was amazing. It really was. It was very, very quick as well. I started my getting like labour pains like early in the morning. And then I sort of stayed at my own house because I'd done it at my mummy's, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
So then Anne picked me up at 12, and then we went down to mummy's house, and Lindsay came, and it was just like all females, which was really lovely. It was very
that is class. You know? I love that though.
So it's a nice memory to like, for Beth one day, you know, when she's older, I'll be like, you were brought into the world with all like women, like it's very like powerful. But it was amazing. It was so like cathartic or something. I can't really describe it. It was just very like
it's empowering.
It's so empowering,
especially I think doing it at home in your like comfort. And I don't know, that wasn't your house, but I'm assuming that's where you were brought up.
Yeah, well, I wasn't brought up there, but I lived there for
a lot of memories. Do you know what I mean? So it felt like a home. You know, it wasn't like going into a clinical hospital.
Exactly, the difference. You just feel so relaxed.
Unbelievable.
And the pool, we had the pool in the kitchen, so Even just the pool, I didn't realise the pool would help so much.
Oh my god.
It's such relief.
And do you know what? It's so bad too. But like I was like, they come out nice and clean.
Come out
clean.
I know,
nice rewashing.
yes. I know, that's so true. But yeah, it was a powerful experience, and I was like, I don't know why more people don't do this. Like I can see where the fears are, of course.
Absolutely.
Because even after, I had to get stitched as well.
Yeah.
In the living room. And yeah, that was probably the worst part.
Yeah.
But my placenta wasn't coming out before they stitched me, obviously. So they were ringing the hospital, going,
right, okay.
They were like, give her 2 more minutes. And she doesn't get it out in 2 minutes. You need to bring her down.
And
so I was like, what? 2 more minutes? I just went, squeezed, and I came out. Thank God.
How long were they giving you to get the placenta out?
I don't know. I think it was, well, whenever she rang the hospital and said it's not coming out, then they were like, give her 2 more minutes and that's it. She needs to come down if it's not. I didn't realise how dangerous that is.
Yeah, no. Well, she said to me that, I says, because whenever she was like, do you want the injection in your leg once I gave birth? And I was like, oh, I don't know. She goes, it's like, how long would it take? And she was like, it could take a couple of minutes with that, but naturally it could take anything from 40 to an hour. I was like, look, I'm sweet in here. Like, just top me up with some hot water.
I had the injection.
Did you? And it still didn't help?
Didn't help.
Oh.
So what was the point?
Yeah, and that makes your contractions then more severe after too.
Yeah, I didn't realise. I was going, why am I still feeling,
having,
it was actually even worse than the ones I was getting in the water.
That's the way it was with Killian, the injection, and they didn't ask me if I wanted the injection, they just done it in my leg, which again I was annoyed about. They just put it in my leg, and the contractions then were like, what, how is this? Whereas without it, with Emily, it was cramps. Mild cramps, and it just came away naturally.
And I can't believe how your body afterwards like heals so quickly.
Unbelievable.
It's
and
like going to the toilet and everything. It's like, whoa, this, I just like pushed a human out, and I don't feel overly painful. I mean, it's pain, but it's nothing
compared to what the hospital birth was like. And I think it's so sad too, because the hospitals are so quick to, and rightly so, they're taught, you know what I mean, they're educated in that sense, but it's turned really medicalized really quickly, instead of letting a woman's body kind of try and do it, you know,
definitely
on its own. I get, obviously sometimes that needs to be the case, but I think in other cases they're just quick to, especially first time mummies that haven't done research and don't know and aren't aware of their options. It's just, this is what you do, and you listen, you agree, because they're the medical ones. So.
And it's amazing how your confidence grows the second time.
God,
like you just know, you know, like your body, you know what you want, and you've got a voice, I think, the second time. Like you were saying to the midwife, like, check my home.
Absolutely.
Check my plan.
And I mean, I literally felt like I had balls of steel saying that. I was like, watch me setting a boundary. Come on, Rachel.
I know. But you have to, I mean, it's your home and it's your birth. Obviously, to an extent, if you were in danger, then obviously,
absolutely.
But I think you really would need to take control.
And in fairness, that midwife was lovely, like, because I obviously wanted it quite positive, and my cousin was there at the stage, and she was with me whenever I was giving birth, and she was getting quite excited, but she would do naturally, like, do you know what I mean? She was getting high pitched and stuff, and I was sitting there with the gas there trying to tell her, like, quiet down. I couldn't in the end. But the midwife was very nice and like, all positive, and
and that makes a difference.
Like the amount of time she's like, your body knows what it's meant to do. Sway if you want to sway, and keep your noises deep. And she was brilliant, like, I have to say. And that makes a difference.
It does. Mine's were brilliant as well. Like, and she wasn't even meant to be my midwife. And it's funny, because the girl that came out the next day to like check me, she was meant to be the midwife.
That was the same as my situation.
No way.
The girl that done my sweep and stuff in Crumlin, she was the one who I originally, because I kind of gotten close with her, I wanted her to be the one to be there. She would have been on call the next day.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that mad?
But you know what's so insane? The girl that came out the next day, I just didn't click with her at all. Like, she was just not my type of girl.
See?
Isn't that crazy?
Everything
and if
happens.
she had been there, I would have probably been more like tense. But with the other woman, she was just so like.
Do you know any other people now that have had home births since then?
No, I actually don't know.
I'm actually seeing more and more of it now, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Locally, not too. Well, maybe Antrim, there's quite a few to be fair lately, but like, I don't think I know very many others in Crumlin. It was actually one of my clients that came to me in the salon that first put the notion in my head with Killian, and everyone was like, you're nuts and all, get every pain relief you can get and blah blah blah. And it was actually Jill Jones. Have you ever heard of Jill Jones bridal?
I feel like I have.
It was her that she, and you know, when you meet her as a person, she's very much, I think she's quite straightforward and matter of fact and lovely girl, like.
Yeah.
Not the type of person, because whenever you think of home birth, you think hippie, and
You do?
you know,
Yeah.
she wasn't that type of person. She's like, trust me, look into it and all. And I did, like, obviously she was one that made me do it. So whenever I put up my post in the home birth and NI group after Emily, she was like, sent me a message like, oh, I'm so glad you got your home birth and all, isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And
that's it. People think it's like a hippie thing.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I did too. Like, I was like,
I know, I suppose it
and
does
then when
have
you
that.
hear hypnobirthing, they think
Yes,
hippie as well,
yeah.
but it's not the case.
It's
like,
not. But I find now people are so much more open to all that now. See,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a couple of years ago, it would
Absolutely.
have been like you're a hippie, you're.
should look at manifesting. Do you know, people would have thought, you know, now the whole
Yes.
world, because of TikTok, I think, as well,
Isn't it?
is all into manifesting. It's trendy to manifest.
Yeah, it's like mainstream now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I remember, like, when was it? Maybe last year, or the year before, you went to get your like
The mummy
something-
makeover.
mummy makeover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I want to know about that, because like, what even like inspired you to do it? Like, was it just not feeling comfortable within yourself, or was it just something you always wanted? Like,
I think, well, first of all, I knew that I was going to need it whenever I got pregnant with Killian, and my stretch marks were really, really deep and thick. And I knew that my skin would never, no matter like how much exercise I would do, my skin would
Yeah.
never be the same. And it was actually the girl who was at in the gym. She was like, Rachel, you know, I can get you in some shape. She goes, but that wee bit of skin will always be there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I know that. My boobs from weight gain and weight loss through my teens were just shocking. Like, to say the least. It was going to be vulgar there, but I'll not. They weren't great. So then after I got pregnant with Emily, I looked into the surgeon. I must have been researching a surgeon for about 2 years. And I know people that have went to Turkey and stuff, and it's went well for them, but I'm a freaker. So
Yeah.
I kind of bypassed Turkey and then went to Lithuania. But it was a boob reduction and a lift and then a tummy tuck. But my kind of main thing was, growing up, I always would have seen like aunties and everyone, you know, sitting like this and putting handbags over them and covering themselves. And do you know, I want my kids to grow up and see me not given to flying fucks. But I want them to be like, Mummy was the one that got up and like danced around and made a dick out of herself and played with us in the park. And I remember with Killian, and Emily was only a wee baby, I was in a park and there was loads of people, and I wanted to go down like the metal slide, and Killian asked me to go down with him, but I wouldn't go down because I was like, I'm going to get stuck and there's other parents here, and what if it, like, the thoughts in my head, it was awful. I just wanted to feel comfortable. Like, I mean, I didn't get it to go about in a bikini, even though I wore a bikini and never thought I would again when I was on holidays. My main thing was, I want to put a pair of jeans on and tuck a top in and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you know, not have to hide myself. And don't get me wrong, I've put on like over a stone since then, just through life, and it happens and I'll lose it again, and that's fine. But my kids will still see me as someone as carefree and not insecure. I don't want to pass my insecurities on to them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want Emily to think it's normal to hide away or whatever. I want her to be carefree and confident. So again, I kind of done it, yes, for me, but for the kids. Like my daddy, and even Lee, my daddy was like, Lee loves you the way you are and there's nothing wrong with you. And Lee
that's
was
what
like,
I was going to say, you know, there's this like you know, different of opinion, you know, love yourself as you are, and then there's people who are like, no, but love yourself, and if you want to get something done,
get it done.
You know.
And Lee was he was a wee bit against it because he was terrified. And he was like, look, you don't need it done, I love you the way you are and all, you're looking amazing. And I was just like, but I'm not doing it for anybody, I'm doing it for me.
For you.
Do you know, I'm doing it for me, and I genuinely think it'll benefit my kids' lives too, through me being happier.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like when I was in Lithuania and I was lying on the table and they were about to put me to sleep, I was like, tell my family I love them. Beneath this was like, you'll be fine, Rachel, it's absolutely fine. Oh, what if I die?
But it is scary.
Oh my god, yeah. But best thing I ever done. Like, I would recommend anybody to get it done if it's something they're insecure about and they can see that it's holding them back in life. Whether it's like, I mean, I wouldn't have went out. Like, I was quite bad for going out anyway, in terms of like friends, like my friends from school and stuff would have messaged me like, you want to come out? I genuinely didn't want to go out because I was that insecure. I was like, no, I don't want to be like, what if they get into a photo or I'm sitting down, you can see me, like, and even now, like, I still have like a wee top roll and stuff, and that's fine, I'm natural, I'm a woman and it's human. But to the extent that it was before, it's just, it's night and day. And I think partly that's because of my surgery, but partly it's because don't care as much, and not so much as in I still try and take a bit of pride in my appearance, but I don't care what other people's opinions are.
Yeah.
Do you know? I just, we're all human. Nobody's perfect. Even the people that are criticizing me, you know, that like they're not perfect either. So I'm just like, let's let it all out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you know, because I would think like that as well. Well, before kids, I would have been very, and I still very much am like this now, but all about natural. You know, be yourself, and you know, don't change parts of yourself.
Yeah.
But that's okay saying that when your body's great, and when you know, like you don't have like anything that you're not comfortable with. You know, and you're as in like obviously there's things that I would love to like change.
Oh, obviously, everybody would, yeah.
But I've just learned to embrace them, you know. But the way you were saying about how getting that would have made you feel better within yourself, you know, and it was for you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that about my stomach.
Yeah.
Like I've got that separation in my muscles. So
oh my god, I got that fixed.
The difference
is unreal. Even in your back pain, like your strength, like unbelievable.
I have lower back pain. When I lie down, my whole stomach goes in, so like my skin like falls in. There's like an actual hole.
Yeah, mine was the size of a fist.
Really?
Yeah, that was that wide. It was the size of a fist, but my
like
abs wasn't too bad before.
2 or 3 fingers now.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of excess skin.
Yeah.
There, so like looking down, I'm like, and there are a lot of stretch marks as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was a belly dancer, so I had a really toned stomach and really. Yeah. And now I look and I'm like, oh my god, like that's not what it used to look like. And you know, I have no strength, no core strength. Can't dance really like I used to. Can't do all these things.
Yeah.
So I am waiting to get because it's not healing on its own.
Yeah.
And I want it to heal on its own, but it's not. So I'm waiting for surgery. You know, for them to heal. Yeah, NHS, like on a list.
Oh, serious? Yeah. I never knew you could get. And will that be like a removal or?
It'll be to bring the muscles
together.
But I don't know if they'll remove this excess skin.
Right. Okay.
But obviously, I would love if they done that too. Yeah. But I don't think because it's on the NHS, I don't think they would. But I can understand why people would want to go and get, because you can sit and say just love who you are, and I get that, like obviously. Love who you are, of course, but I don't judge anybody who wants to get something done that's going to help them.
Exactly.
Because then who am I to judge, you know? Who am I to judge? Like
it's like my daddy and stuff, he would, you know, people getting their lips done. I think typical older generation, look at them lips, look at the heck that, and you're like, Daddy, if that makes her happy.
Yeah.
Why do you need to, you know, and he's like, oh, I suppose you have a fair point, you know, that's not, you know, and it would be a harmless kind of, you know, saying in their part, but you do kind of have to look deeper and be like, if that makes them happy, what is it to you? It's like even people wearing mad clothes or doing whatever the hell they want, like if it's making them happy, then but I would recommend anybody to get it done, like, and I mean, I'm not here to promote cosmetic surgery and all the rest of it, but if there's something that you're not happy with and you think it's going to make a difference to not just your physical health but your mental health, do it. But would you not go away and get it done?
I have thought about it. I have thought about it because it does impact your like your life.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I remember literally sitting and I had lost all the weight, and I think I lost like 3 or nearly 4 stone, over 4 stone maybe, I don't know, I can't even remember now, but like literally sitting down and I had my belly roll and the flop of skin, and literally I was like, my vagina is starting to look like another roll. I was like, this is ridiculous, like it was just that, everything was just hanging. So after getting it done, don't get me wrong, the recovery was hard, but see now being able to stick on a pair of skinny jeans and a top, I mean, even though I've put on weight, it's still flat, I'm just a bit bigger. Do you know what I mean? It's class.
It's like for you, you know, you're not doing it for
anybody else. Yep, absolutely.
And I get the fine line. I do get this because obviously I don't want to bring my daughter up thinking like you need to change everything about you to fit into society and like be like, you know. So there's a fine line there. Like I wouldn't encourage my kids to be like go and get all this surgery and change their whole appearance. Because it is in this world today, it's all about your appearance, and you have to be really, I don't know, mindful that.
That's why I got it done when Emily was so young. Everyone was like, could you not wait longer? I was like, if I wait longer, she's going to see it all, and she's going to think that that's an option, which yes it is, but to me it was an option after like 26 years of battling with like weight loss. Do you know what I mean? Like it was the final straw. I don't want her to think whenever she's 18 like, oh, it's fine, I'll just go and get this done or I'll go and get that done. Like
Exactly.
try everything else first, and then see if it's something that's really, you need something like that, then so be it. But
exactly,
especially after having kids, I mean,
yeah,
class for people whose bodies go back to normal after having
That's
kids,
it.
but Christ.
yeah.
Mine
And if it's going to affect your confidence,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think you know you do it.
Yeah,
you
even
know?
your relationship as well. Like,
Yeah.
do you know, lying on my side, if Lee had to put his arm around me and grab my belly, he'd have got an elbow in the back, or do you know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
now I'm just like, grand.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to suck in any
Yeah.
24/7, or do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? There's so many
Yeah.
positives to it.
Totally. Because even whenever I was 18, I got my ears pinned back because my ears would have
okay.
stuck right out when I was younger, and I got bullied for it, like, really bad. And then I got it done when I was 18. So, like, that's considered cosmetic surgery. You
No
know?
way.
Yeah, it's cosmetic.
Actually?
Yeah. But obviously, it's not.
Yeah,
no, I mean, it is,
I know
but
what you mean.
it's not in a way. Well, I mean, it is. Obviously, it's cosmetic surgery, but it affected my, you know, confidence growing up. I was a dancer and stuff, so I would have to put my hair back for shows, and I would be so self-conscious. And to be fair, I actually did have I did have a bit of confidence, you know, where I held myself, and it didn't really. But like, if any of my kids ever,
deep down inside, it niggles.
Yes. Yeah. So I got it done.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, you know, I like being natural, but I also think you have to.
Yeah. If you genuinely feel something needs fixed, then so be it.
And then don't judge people if they want to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
You can see how people get carried away though. Like, when I was away getting my surgery, there was so many more women that are getting back for the 3rd or 4th time.
Yeah.
Do you know? And whenever you do come back and your stomach's completely flat and smooth and everything, and then you're looking at your arms and your legs, you could get carried away. But at the same time, I want my kids to grow up and see that having my bingo wings is normal, and having flabby bits, and do you know, I want them to. And like, that's something I read as well in a book, is like, your kids seeing you naked is very important, especially for boys, so that they can see what a normal, like, a woman's body looks like. So if I had my legs done, my arms done, and everything else, God help Lee, or Killian's future wife, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, unless you have a good surgeon of, so my stomach's enough.
Oh God, I seen that recently actually, and I was like, wow, because I would be very open that way. You know, like, if I'm getting changed, I would just walk about. And
I'd sleep in the nip and everything. Like it's just the norm.
Yeah.
Using the bathroom, everything.
Yeah. And it's so.
Killian went over to my daddy the other week and was like, "Do you know how Mommy wears nappies?" I'm like, "Oh, sweet Jesus," because obviously I was on my period. And I'm like, "Oh God, he's going to tell everybody in nursery his Mommy wears nappies."
No, Beth, every time she sees me with like a pad, I wouldn't use a tampon.
I can't use them. And then I'm so sensitive as well, like the way you were saying about burning with the, like, getting induced, that would have probably been me.
Yeah, and just knowing what's on them as well. There's so much chemicals.
Oh my God, like,
no, couldn't do it again. So I wear pads now as well.
Yeah.
Big granny pads.
Yeah, I'm the same. Granny pads and granny knickers, it's the way forward.
Exactly.
I tried to wear a thong when I was away on holidays. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. How did I ever wear these?
It looked amazing. So it did.
It was brilliant, like, to be fair.
And you looked amazing too.
Like, 4 days, the longest we'd been away without both of the kids.
Right.
And it was brilliant. Like, and everyone had a great time, and I was very mindful of everybody that was going. I was like, this is everybody's holiday. I want one night out together for my birthday, but I want you all to do your own thing and whatever suits and it worked out perfectly.
Amazing.
I loved it.
And what's your goals then for the future, or what's your dreams? Like, is there anything that you want to achieve? I know you've got your nail business.
I'm obviously like doing the nails, and we're kind of branching into like other kind of things, me and Lee, with Willow, the brand that I work with, so that's exciting. But my kind of main thing is, genuinely, I do want to get a greenhouse, grow my own food, just wholesome memories with the kids, like adventures. I would have loved a caravan if I could afford it. Like, love a caravan. I know some people are like, oh my God, that's my idea of hell. I wouldn't care if we looked like the Golightly's coming in a 1980s caravan that I've renovated. I don't care. It's literally for the memories. Like, I want as much core memories made for my children, like, just on my adventures, and until obviously they get to the age where they don't want to hang out with Mummy and Daddy.
I know.
My heart will break.
I know.
Like, every time I'm looking at them, they're getting older.
I remember you put something on your Instagram like a couple of days ago.
Oh my God, don't.
And I actually was like, want to do it.
I was literally crying. I was like,
I know.
It's, you just see them, and like Killian now, he's like full on, like, he just has conversations with you, and so yeah, like, my goals is literally just to do as much as I can for them, and obviously earn money to leave them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's everything I do now is for them, pretty much, and I'm happy with that. I just feel like, you know, I'm blessed enough to be able to try and give them the best life they can get.
Yeah.
Mainly we were always told we could never have kids, so when we found out that we have Killian and Emily, and then I sent Lee for the snip whenever Emily was like 3 months. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit again. Right. But we've both said, like, if you know, God forbid, down the line we decided we want another child, they would end up adopting a wee one and give it a life.
Right.
You know, imagine being able to do that and give the child a life, that because my kids are, they'll never probably realize it, but they're so blessed, like like your children, like loads of people's children. So to be able to give a wee child that doesn't have that, the chance, just in a life, really, you know.
I know.
But
did you always want to, or would you have liked more?
2.
Just 2.
Always 2.
Yeah.
When I first met Lee, he wanted 5, and then after having Killian or Emily and the colic and all, he was like, yeah, no, we're never doing this again. No. Whenever we done the gender reveal for Emily, he was like, if this turns out another boy, can we go again? I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'll be happy with 2 boys. So that'll be me, a boy mummy. And like, if you had have met me before I was pregnant with Killian, you'd have been like, oh, Rachel will keep going until she has a girl. But after that, I was like, no, I genuinely, 2's enough. Don't care what they are, as long as they're happy and healthy.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's such a cliche thing to say, like, because I was genuinely gutted at the start whenever I found out that Killian was a boy. I did cry, because I had in my head that this was a girl, and I was bonding with a wee girl only for like a day, and then it was sweet. But you know, after that, everybody would have been convinced that I had to have a girl. So when it came out a girl, obviously it was a bonus. But no, I was like, I'll be happy with 2 wee boys. Wee matching outfits.
I know.
Could do it. Would you have any more?
I see, if it was the 90s, I probably would. You know, times are different now, and it's just like, I probably would have had like 4. I think.
It's money too, but
that's it. You want the best life for them possible.
That's literally what we say too. If we had any more, it wouldn't be a case of being able to hopefully get them their first cars and help towards uni and do all that kind of thing. Now it's just, and even the price of childcare.
You know, it's.
Do yours go into childcare or anything? No. Are you stay-at-home mum? I would love that.
I'm so grateful, like.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
Grateful. Yeah.
But it's getting harder and harder now for that to even to be an option for people. Unbelievable.
That's why, see, if we had another one, I probably wouldn't be able to. So, you know,
you have to do what you have to do.
You have to, yeah.
Lee, obviously being the stay-at-home daddy, he actually had postnatal depression. And people don't talk about it.
He was a stay-at-home daddy then.
Yes.
Is he still stay-at-home daddy?
Yeah, he's until this whole Willow thing happens. But he was made redundant in the first lockdown, was it? The first lockdown. And then the price of childcare and everything. Now they both still do go into childcare too. Well, not Killian anymore, he's in nursery, but 2 days a week they would have went in just for them to kind of interact with their kids and all that caper. Because I think it's a lot easier for mums to go to mum group than Lee to be the only man there and go into mum's group kind of thing. And also, in all honesty, he needs the break. Do you know, them 2 days a week? Now he does a wee bit of work and that helps him them 2 days a week, but yeah, no, him being the stay-at-home daddy, if I could have swapped roles with him, I would have.
Would you?
Yeah. But obviously with my career and me being the main breadwinner at that stage, we had to. Yeah. I was back to work after 3 weeks with him.
Right.
So,
and it's your nail business,
your
makeup
nails.
Business?
Yeah, mainly nails now, to be honest.
Nails.
Yeah, and teaching. So I would teach people nails and stuff like that, and that kind of came in the perfect time, and then to kind of try and keep us afloat while Lee wasn't working. Yeah. But yeah.
And is that the route you want to continue to go down? Do you want to build like your business around that?
I love teaching.
Yeah,
I genuinely love it. Like, see, I love helping people. Right. So when I'm teaching, I feel like I'm helping someone because I genuinely do. Like, I love my job.
Yes.
So I'm helping them get a job that they love. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's bad enough that people have to work so much and just to live. So if you can find a job that you love, and I'm kind of helping them get there, then that makes me feel good as well.
Yeah. It's
like,
so
good job satisfaction.
Yeah, and then your kids are watching that, so that's a really good example.
Yeah, absolutely. And my clients are all, I like, honestly, every single one of my clients, and they come to my house and all, obviously, like the cabin, but they're lovely. And my kids and everything, like they get the kids Easter eggs, and like they're just
lovely,
really lovely. Like I am very blessed. The wee setup we have now is perfect. Like,
I know, it's gorgeous. When I came in, I was like, oh, it's lovely. Because only see it on Instagram, so
just see glimpses.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. That's really, really good that you're.
I know. That's me. We are very lucky. It's all starting to fall in. Like, about a year and a half ago there, obviously, with me being the only one working, and like we're proper struggling. I was like, Lee, how are we going to do this? I was doing budget and meals and everything, but now we're just getting back on our feet again, and it's brilliant. Do you know?
And your kids are literally like similar age to mine, and are you feeling that like bit of like you're out of the woods kind of with all the baby newborn stage.
Yes,
and
yeah.
you feel a bit more like they're kids now.
Emily's like quite good in terms of being advanced with her speech and everything else, but she's really, the tantrums are fabulous. Love that for me. So I'd say we're probably about another year or so to like prime age.
Yeah, because this is like tantrum.
Yeah,
you know?
Killian's doing good. He's brilliant now, I have to say, and like, do you know, he's like, God bless him, like he's a wee neat freak and won't have crumbs in his bed and likes to make it like wee angel. And then you've got Emily, who's just, you know, give her a marker and just like free rein on her face, and she's a messer. Do you know, she loves mess.
It's amazing how different they are, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we're in the kitchen this morning, and next thing we looked out and she had her welly boots on and her pajamas and was out digging holes in the muck. Do you know, she's nuts, like.
My girl as well, she's like that too.
Is she?
I thought she wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I thought she was like the quiet chill one.
Yeah. It's mad though how it's completely two different children.
Oh yeah.
But they're besties.
Mm-hmm.
Are yours besties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although they have their moments, like when
Oh
they're...
yeah. I think anybody does. When they get on, you look there and you're like, oh God, and then when they're murdering each other, you're like, oh, fucking kill them. And then trying to do gentle parenting whenever you're like at your tail's bits end, you're like, oh Jesus.
So would you practice that then too? Yeah.
I try to, but like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've shouted, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, the last time I shouted at Killian, like proper shouted, was a couple of months ago, and my heart broke because he just looked at me and started crying, like, Mummy, you don't shout, you don't shout, you scared me. And I was like, oh my God. So I had to obviously get down on my knees and apologise, and which I think's really strange for adults like my mummy and stuff to see you apologising to your child. Because when you think about it, like, that generation never apologised because the adult was always right. Do you know what I mean? They might have knew they'd done wrong and made up for it by buying you something or doing something nice, but they never physically would have said sorry. And that's something I struggled with, actually, that I noticed in my relationship with Lee, that I couldn't apologise. Like, whenever I'd done something wrong, I noticed that I would just kind of get licky and be like, oh, you know, and try and brush it under the carpet, but I never actually apologised. He was brilliant at apologising, to be fair, and now I am. Do you know, I'd be like, sorry, Lee. Lost my tether there, like lost my patience, or do you know, we're both me and Lee now are very good at being like, I'm overstimulated, I'm going to take a wee 5 minutes here, and you know, the other parent just kind of takes over, tap in and tap out kind of thing. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's mad the things when you become a parent, you realise are your kind of issues too, like, oh my, am I the drama?
Is it me? Totally, I'm the same with that, you know. I would apologise if I was to like shout. I wouldn't be a shitty mummy. No. And it's because you want to not have that in the house all the time.
Exactly.
You know?
No matter what, like, when you shout, your kids then think that that's okay to shout. So my kids wouldn't really be shouty children. Yes. And like, even people like older generation, one of my friends, she's like 53, and you know, she's around, she's like, Rachel, the patience you have is unbelievable. I'm like, trust me, this is very hard. It is. Yeah. Inside, I am screaming.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to walk into a bathroom and go, literally. But I mean, that's like breaking the.
Oh yeah. Like, Killian was in nursery the other day, and he was like talking away and stuff, and he comes off with, everyone's like, well, what are we? And Killian's like, blessed, not stressed. I'm like, yes, son.
I love it. I would do affirmations, but you do that with them
every morning. 3 things they're grateful for.
Right. Oh,
now only very rarely it'll be mummy or daddy. Normally it's like, for example, Killian's this morning was his bed clothes, his pillowcase, his bed. Do you know, I'm sitting there going, not mummy or daddy, no. Emily's is always food.
Food, is it?
But like, do you know, they're your kids.
Aw.
But you have to.
Amazing. Yeah.
You have to instill it in them.
Totally. And you don't want to, like, the way we were, not that we were ever brought up really bad, obviously, but I mean, there's a lot of things there that we now weren't carried through with our kids.
And I said that to Mommy before, you know, she says also, you know, kind of things would be her fault. I was like, Mommy, it was never your fault. No. You done your best, and you done far better than what your mummy done. Yeah. And now I'm just trying to do a wee bit better than what you done, because you didn't have the resources or the knowledge or all the information that we have now as to how shouting at your child and locking them away doesn't actually do you anything, or, you know, certain methods of discipline that they would have had back in the day actually wasn't great, you know, but they didn't know any better, because that's what they were taught was right. Yeah. For all we know, we could be doing all this gentle parenting in about 5 years, like 50 years, you could be like, actually that was the worst thing you could have done. I know. But everybody's just trying to do their best. True. Yeah. So true. I don't know. Yeah. No one knows. Do you know what I mean? I know. Because it is fairly, not new, but I mean, it is, especially like on TikTok, you know, this gentle parenting. It is, you know, because all the research coming out with trauma and
all these
everything
things.
else.
So when you know these things, you're like, oh, I don't want to cause that on my kids. You
Our
know?
kids could come out and be like in an interview and like interrogating the interviewer. Like, you just don't know what way it's going to affect them in life. But at the end of the day, you're just trying your best, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's better than, you know, all the other things.
Oh yeah,
you know, it is.
Absolutely.
Because you're letting them know that they have their own voice and their
Yeah.
own opinion, and you know, for us apologising to wee kids,
Yeah.
you know, like, and
Yeah.
my mummy's the same. Like, she would be looking like, what is
Yeah.
going on? Like,
My mummy,
you're in charge, not
Yeah.
the kid.
Killian was having a meltdown before, and my mummy kind of watched how I handle it, and she's like,
Yeah.
I says I would have flipped there. She says I'd have shouted, or I'd have, like, you know, she says, how you done that? I wish I had have known that back then, you know, just trying to get them to breathe and everything else. I'm like, mummy, but you wouldn't, that wasn't the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and what then, I always ask this as well, like what your legacy would be if you know, just in life, like what do you want to be remembered for?
oh God, that's a
I
good
know.
question. What do you want to be remembered for? you go,
Right.
you go, you go, and then I'll have time to think.
Me.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not asked the questions, Rachel.
My legacy, oh flip, right, okay. What is my legacy? My legacy would be just for my kids to always know that they're important in life, in this world.
They're good enough.
That they're good enough,
Yeah.
and never to be afraid to stand up for what's right, and never be afraid to say no.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody speak down to you. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you are so amazing and special, you know? Like, do not let anybody make you feel like you're not.
Yeah, I think that would be a big...
Yeah. And just, life is up and down. You're never always going to stay up.
No.
And you're not always going to stay down. So when you are up, enjoy it. And when you're down, know that you're not going to be down there forever. And I think just know that it's okay to be human.
Yeah. I think
And feel
that's
your
something,
emotions.
like with Killian and Emily and
so
stuff,
much.
growing up, I want to make sure that they know, like, if someone kind of reacts to them or treats them in a place out of anger and stuff, that, you know, instead of them being angry and retaliating, I want them to kind of be like, right, well, there's obviously more there, so let's maybe say a wee prayer for that person, or just kind of let that person be to the side and you move on, or because no, like, you don't know. It's the exact same thing with, like, you know, us trying not to shout and get angry at our children because we don't want them to learn that that's a way of communication. There's other families that haven't got that, or just simply might have a hell of a lot more hard challenges in life than what we have.
Exactly.
And that's just the only bit of energy they have left to express is anger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just not to judge anybody.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I would love for people to realize that, and all of my clients, like, people come into me and be like, this is a safe space. I do not judge anyone for anything. Do you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you came in here and you were like, Rachel, I actually murdered someone the other day because they didn't give me a Kit Kat, I might judge you for that, you know. But in life and people's actions, like, every action has a reaction. It's like, you can't judge people because you do not know what they're going through, and you don't know how they've been brought up and how to cope with what they're going through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're changing our coping mechanisms the past couple of years because we've had children, and we want to try and teach them new coping mechanisms different to what ours was. But mine was always just self-sabotage, just to criticize myself and put myself down. And if someone came to me looking help, that's fine, I'll give you another bit of me. And someone else comes, and then all of a sudden when I need help, I'm like, who's here, who's left to help me? Because I can't help myself now, I've given it all away. So they need to, like, you need to keep a bit of yourself there to help yourself, because if you're not your full potential, you're never going to be able to give your kids, like, do you know what I mean? You need to give them chips of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah, and that's very wise.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we would really know that
No,
maybe 4 years ago, 5 years
God.
ago.
maybe even 3
You're
years
kind
ago.
of more not self-aware. Yeah. Back then you would have been a bit more selfish, but now I think we've realised, you know, that life isn't like sunshine and rainbows.
No.
That
I think it's as well, it's like, I kind of see this, you know, a good bit, like, you're mentally immature So until you genuinely become mentally mature and see life for what it is and everybody else's life, and that you're having drama, yes, but someone else has drama over there. Do you know what I mean? And you might be having a good day, but you don't know what that other person's going through. So just be a wee bit more mindful of how you react to the other people's reactions. And do you know what I mean? So if someone's coming at you in a place of anger, instead of you getting angry back and using all that energy, just kind of sit there and be like, right, well, do you know, is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah.
And you find, like, I've done that before, do you know, people have been shouting or angry, and you kind of speak to them and you bring it down, you'll just notice that anger fades and it's just tears. Because they're just crying out for help, but they don't know how to, you know, express their emotions in a way other than anger.
Yeah.
Deep.
That is deep. That is deep, because it is true.
Yeah, it is.
So true.
It's mad, like.
Because anytime I find myself being angry, it really is just sadness deep down. Once you take the anger away, it's just like, oh.
The other day I was like completely overstimulated. I was busy with work, stressed out, and I went into my mummy's, and it was something really stupid, like they were all playing bingo, and my sister tried to ring me to ask me if I wanted to play. I couldn't answer it because I was so busy in work, and I came over and I was like, I just don't give a fuck. And everybody just kind of looked, and it was anger came out of me. I walked away and I came back and I was like, look, I had a lot of emotions there, and the only way it came out was with anger. I'm not angry that I'm not playing bingo here, okay? I want to lay the cards out. I apologize for being angry. I'm just emotional, and that's how it came out in that moment, but that was not what I meant. You know, you kind of have to step away and come in and explain it.
Yeah.
And they're like, right, okay.
Yeah.
Rachel's lost the plot.
That's such like a growth in a person. You know, not many people can like put their ego aside and say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
And that it is just about being vulnerable. That's all it is.
Definitely.
No one wants to be vulnerable. No one wants to be seen as being weak or, you know.
And that's what annoys me. You know, I would be very soft-spoken.
Yeah.
And all through my life, I always, you know, was kind of looked at like I'm soft and not strong, you know, because I am very vulnerable, and this is just my nature.
Yeah.
Whereas people around me would be more like
bullish,
louder, and you know, that's their energy, and everyone's different. But it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're louder you're stronger. And because you're quieter you're weaker. It's not.
I know. And people kind of do, people can't really distinguish that, but
no,
I hate kind of using the term, but if you were kind of putting it in social media terms, when you're woke, you kind of see that.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And woke's kind of, I'm using that because when you look at some things, you're like, Jesus, there's woke and there's going extreme.
I know.
But when you're mentally mature, or you're kind of healed your inner child, or you're a wee bit more, you do kind of see things for what it is, and you're like, right, there's a reason why you're coming at everybody with anger. There's a reason why you feel like you need to be the loud one in the room, or, do you know, everybody needs to sort their own shit out, no matter what life you're like. Because I mean, I genuinely do think I had a really good childhood. Yes, there was glimpses of it and things that might have impacted me, but I still went to counselling. Do you know what I mean? And I genuinely think everybody in their life should go to counselling at some stage and speak to someone.
Definitely.
Do you know, I think now it's becoming a wee bit more socially accepted. People openly telling you went to counselling, whereas about 10 years ago it was like, don't tell anybody you're going to counselling, don't let anybody know that, you know, because it was seen as a sign of weakness. Whereas now I actually see, if you're going to counselling, that's a sign of good on you, you're trying to sort your shit out. That you're taking responsibility of your life. And how you react. Absolutely.
You want to respond. Not react. See, look how grown we are.
Grown ass woman.
No, but I mean, it's just amazing, you know, because just the way you just, I don't know, it's just amazing to look at yourself in a different way. Obviously you're not perfect. No one's perfect.
And I say that to people all the time. Like, even my mummy would talk about, you know, like family and all the rest of it. I'm like, Mummy, like, I would be, all of our siblings, I would be kind of close, like, you know, in terms of personality with my brother, but we're all completely different. And they say that every 5 years your personality changes, so it's up to you whether that changes with your spouse or whatever. But I just said, actually, the other day to Mummy, I was like, my personality has changed dramatically to what my siblings are, so their sense of humor I actually don't get anymore, and they don't get mine. So it doesn't mean that they're bad or I'm bad or they're right or I'm wrong, or it just means we're different, and that's absolutely fine. It's okay to be different. You know, like you'll just attract that type of person to you. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like you and I would have kind of the same beliefs. So this has all happened because we've you know, energies or whatever you want to say. I'm just not there with other people. Do you know? Totally. And people will be like, oh, you know, some people might say you're stuck up, and it's like, you're not stuck up. We're just different. I don't think because you're, you know, partying or doing whatever.
Yeah.
I think fair play. You're living the life that you have right now. You don't have children. You don't have responsibilities. You do you.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody in the
Yeah.
in the process. This is my life now. This is my opinions, and that's
Yeah.
Do you
Just
know
so
what I
you vibrate, you know.
yeah,
Where
absolutely.
you are with people.
And vibrations are such a big thing.
So real.
Oh yeah,
I can
absolutely.
feel it. I'm so energy
Yeah, I'm the same.
sensitive.
I've
I
always
just pick
been.
it up really
Yeah.
quickly.
It's like when you walk into a room and you can sense everybody's
Yeah.
moods.
Yes.
They do
yes.
say that's a thing.
Yeah.
They say that's actually due to having mentally immature parents that didn't know
Right.
how to express their emotions and all the rest of it. So when you come down in the morning, you had to see if they were in a good mood, bad mood, anger. And I'm like, oh, well, actually, yeah. I suppose to an extent you can kind of get that because our parents weren't brought up to, you know,
Yeah.
meditate or speak about their feelings or anything
Yeah.
like that. So you can see that, do you know.
Wow, that makes sense.
Isn't that
actually, yeah,
mad?
'cause you're like scanning the room.
Absolutely. And you can look into a room, you're like, you can just tell by
Yeah.
just 2 minutes if that person's going to be your person or not.
That's insane. Wow. Oh my god, Rachel, there's so much we need to talk about, and I'm like looking at the time going,
Oh my god, it's an hour
I know. I was going to cut it, and I was like, no, because I want to keep talking.
It's getting deep.
It's getting deep. But literally,
Like part 2.
There has to be part 2s, but
You have to do a meet up with
to.
everybody as well, I think.
Yes.
I think that's going to be such a good thing.
yes, I said that. Johnny actually said that to me
Yeah.
as well. I was thinking that, and he was like, yeah, you should totally do that.
Even do like a retreat or something, do you know what I
Yes.
mean? We'll all just try and work it out, see how much it'll cost us, and all
How
go. And
amazing.
like-minded
all the
people.
mums are so similar.
Yeah.
You know, but so different, obviously, but
Yeah.
so similar.
Yeah.
We all have the same.
We all have
kinda-
the same wee ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll do part 2, won't we?
Yeah, we'll have to counselling with Rachel.
Our own podcast to flip. No, but yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm just all biz that I
Yeah.
was got to be a part of this because I do genuinely think this is going to be so helpful for. I think a lot of mummies as well sat at home that aren't at the stage yet where they can't physically leave the house, whether it's because they're bombarded with nappies and bottles or just mentally, whatever it is. This might encourage women to be like, oh my god, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like it does get easier.
it does get easier, and
It does. It really does. Like I get you see this in my stories quite a lot with pictures of the kids. Like
Yeah.
on my Instagram, I show everything. So like the meltdowns, the tantrums, and everything, and then you'll see a picture and I'm like, guys, it does get easier. I promise. Anyone with 2 under 2, I promise it gets easier.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's as it does, you do realize just how much of a blessing they are. Like you always see them as a blessing, but they change your life and shape your life for you to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you get to the stage and you're like, I don't care what material items I have, what, like, I mean, when I had the salon before I had kids, I had, you know, the Merc and everything that I thought was nice, and like we sold all of the kind of luxuries. We have that, like, I think the Passat's like, I don't even know how old it is, as I say, it doesn't even have a CD player, and I'm genuinely the happiest I think I've ever been. Andy, do you know, it's not about that, it's about appreciating what you have and what's right in front of you, and it doesn't need to be a material item.
No.
Like sat here listening to trees, as hippie as you want to be, you know.
Trees.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I
know what you
appreciate you
mean.
putting me on, and
Yeah.
hopefully anything I say doesn't offend anybody. So.
No, don't apologise, because I mean this is where we're living in. We have to just
Yeah.
speak how we feel, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many things that didn't get covered.
I'll get a script next time. So now let's talk about postnatal psychosis.
I know. But yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.